What if I told you a cop fatally shoots an abuse victim who's fleeing her abuser? Here it is.
Oh, 1584, 1584. 1584, he's trying to hit someone. Shots fired, shots fired. Get back. Shots fired. I got about 4 subjects running around. He was trying to run over a subject. Get out of the road!
He's a damn lie. Put it up full mass. No one was threatening him. Nobody attempted to run over him. And as you can clearly see in the video footage, the vehicle was nowhere near him, nor was it coming toward him. He lied in the police report. He lied in his initial commentary. He lied to the witnesses who saw exactly what happened. November 2023, I'm taking you to Fort Wayne. Fort Wayne police responded to a domestic abuse call at a home where they had previously responded multiple times over domestic violence calls. Ms. Dachena Warren-Hill was actually driving away from the man who was actively engaged in physical abuse when she was shot and killed by the Indiana police officer in 2023. The officer is Mark Guzman of the Fort Wayne Police Department, claimed that he was in fear for his life when he opened fire, claiming she was driving the car directly toward him. Let's put up a screenshot. That's when he shot this woman. The car is driving away. The body cam footage, which was released 3 months later, shows Guzman was not directly in the car's path because she was driving away when he opened fire. He decided to commit murder. That would be murder in any other scenario. A car driving away and you shoot at it and kill the person driving. Last week, her mother, Dachena Warren, filed a lawsuit in federal court against Officer Guzman, as well as the department's former police chief and the man who was abusing her. His name is Cedric Brown. Quote, "The Fort Wayne Police Department is out of control," she says. Warren said during a protest last year, during that protest, according to the Journal Gazette, without any attempt to use less lethal weapons to subdue the descendant. Ms. Warren-Hill defended Officer Mark A. Guzman, drew his service firearm, fired multiple gunshots into the vehicle being driven by the deceased. Now, you would imagine this is a horrible situation. This woman is in the middle of being abused. She calls for help. Help comes. She's fleeing the abuser to only be shot and killed by the very police that is supposed to help her survive. You would imagine charges will be filed. You would imagine this cop has to be prosecuted. He lied on the police report. It's clear that he shot a vehicle that was driving away from him, and he did so indiscriminately. You would be wrong. And while the body camera clearly shows, Warren-Hill was driving away from her abuser. The cop, Fort Wayne police, tried to justify it by saying in a press release that a 911 caller told dispatcher quote, the vehicle was attempting to run over the officer that had arrived on the scene, end quote. See, Guzman was cleared of wrongdoing 3 months after the shooting by the Allen County Prosecuting Attorney's Office, which stated in the press release that, quote, the officer was justified in using force as he reasonably believed that force was necessary to prevent serious bodily injury or death to himself and or citizens of this community. That is how they covered this. So 2 callers described a chaotic scene involving people fighting outside the home, including a male who kept ramming his car into the house and garage, as well as trying to run over other people. When Guzman arrived, he spotted a man running away from a car that was driving forward, making it appear as if the car was trying to run the man over. However, the man stepped out of the way and the car continued driving forward toward the street while Guzman stood off several yards to the driver's side of the car, nowhere near his path or direction. Nevertheless, he still fired 6 bullets into that car, killing that woman who was already in the midst of running for her life, killing the 20-year-old woman who was trying to escape her abuser. According to the claim, it took 3 months after the shooting for police to release the body cam video, and they only did so after the cop was cleared of wrongdoing by the Attorney General's office. Now, this is one of those cases, you give it to a grand jury, at least let a grand jury hear the information, true bill or not, you give it to a grand jury. Grand jury likely, if you present it correctly, they indict here. They indict. Hell, they may indict for negligent homicide, but they indict for something. They indict. You then go to your normative jury, and all of the information comes out. The information like, well, he lied on the police report. You see, lying on the police report is a big deal. Here's why, especially when somebody's dead. It goes to evidence of a guilty conscience, meaning you knew what you did was wrong, illegal, unethical, immoral, so much so that on the official report, you told the narrative the way it should be told in order to alleviate criminal responsibility, which means you knew what you did was in fact criminal. That's what that means. But when you hide it in an AG's office and then you cloak it under the disguise of in fear of the lives of other people, this is what you have. All right. Elliot, dear brother, I know sometimes cops get it wrong authentically. To me, a cop who is a trained individual shooting at a car that's clearly moving away from him and then lying on the report saying he was afraid that it was going to hit him and that's the reason he decided to kill this woman is insane to me. What say you?
I would agree. I think, who among us hasn't been just gripped by fear at the sight of a car driving away from you? Clearly, in the body cam footage, I've heard of fight or flight. I think this is fighting, just flying. This person was leaving, and in terms of this sort of reasonable belief excuse that they threw out, I think the question to ask, or a question, is what is going on in the training of becoming a police officer, where that is a reasonable belief. And I think that this whole story is a great example of how police just are not equipped to be dealing with a lot of these types of calls that they get called in for. They're trained to see enemies where they're not, and then tragedies like this happen, and then you watch this whole rigmarole repeat itself, where they investigate themselves and find no wrongdoing. And it's incredibly frustrating.
Yeah, and we will bring you updates as updates develop. This lawsuit has been filed, which means that individuals may go on record and also have to submit to sworn testimony.